Hi everyone, my name's Lucy Ann and I'm the Front Porch Knitter. I'm coming to you, thank you for coming and watching my podcast. I'm coming to you for the first time today, and I've been contemplating starting a podcast for a while, and one of the things that dawned on me was during this time, because we're in the middle of this pandemic heading into year 2, and I was feeling really disconnected, and this time last year I started watching other people's podcasts, and that made me feel like I had friends talking to me about their knitting. And then in the last few months I realized what I was missing was I didn't have anyone to talk to about my knitting and crafting and other things that I do in my life in general. And it was something I felt like I needed to do, so here I am. And I'm also, the other thing I noticed was I wasn't seeing a lot of people like me. Many of the podcasters I follow are very different lifestyle, age, gender, approach to knitting than I am. And so I thought, well, you know what? Maybe there's other people like me who would be interested in hearing what I have to say. So, you know, if no one watches and I get no subscribers, at least I got to say it out loud, and that's good for me. And right now, we should all be doing things that are good for us. And that doesn't mean not looking out for your fellow human beings, but it does mean making sure that you're looking after your own mental health. And that is part of what knitting is for me. I do have a full-time job. I also have a side gig, and I love to knit. I have a family. We have 4 adult children, my husband and I, and we live in southwestern Ontario, Canada. And I would have loved to have been doing this first podcast from my front porch. However, it's just a little too windy today to be able to get good sound. And so I decided that I'd put it off long enough, and today was the day, no matter what. So here I am. And sometimes you just have to put those hard lines in the sand for yourself. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what I'm wearing. I love this. This pattern is wavelength. It's just a small triangular shawl. But the reason I chose to wear it is this is the very first skein of indie dyed yarn that I ever bought. This is Sweet Skein O' Mine from Fredericton, New Brunswick. And the colorway is, I think, Sweet Child of Mine. And I just love it. It is such a pretty color. The color shows a bit better back here. And I love wearing it. It's such a bright, springy color. And the other thing I love about it is I love the person behind the product. I follow her on Instagram, and I'll post links below so you'll be able to find them. And if you want to follow her, go ahead. She's great and fun. And I think that's what I look for. A lot of the folks whose podcasts I follow are quite introverted, which is great. Nothing wrong with being an introvert. I'm not. So I always look for those people who are fun and laugh, and that's good too, right? I wish I could be out knitting with other people. I am happy to be at home knitting because at least I have that. But I really need my people, and there's no way for me to find them. So, Sweet Skein O' Mine, Sweet Child of Mine, wavelength is the pattern, and it can be found on Ravelry, and I don't know where else it can be found. That is where I got it. So that's the first thing. The next thing I'm going to do is show you some things I finished recently, because that will help you know a little bit about me and the kinds of things I like to do, which is, yeah, a little scatterbrained, but that's okay because that's who I am. One of the things I grabbed at the last minute was this little basket, because this basket lives downstairs in my living room, and I just throw things in it. This is the basket I make gnomes from, and it's just a rope basket. I don't know where I got it. I'm sorry. But if you ever find a maker who does these, they're great little baskets for projects like this where you can just pop things in. They're all there where you need them. My Gnome knitting needles are even in there. And they're probably 2mm, 2.25. I love making these little gnomes. And I just started doing this. It's, let me see if I can get it to focus on him a little better. There. I love his whiskers. Look at those crinkly whiskers. Aren't they fun? That's just done by steaming and unraveling the yarn. So before Christmas, Imagine Landscapes ran a knit along for the Gnutmeg gnome. And I joined that. And I went, oh, yeah, this is fun. It's kind of mindless. It's interesting. It's a fun little project. I can work on it just in my basket, a few minutes at a time, small components. I like that. I like having those things I can pick up and set down because believe me, I'm crazy for finding time to knit. So this is a modified Gnutmeg because the original Gnutmeg had arms and legs. And I decided for spring that this beautiful little, I don't think you can see, there's stellina in this yarn. It's a little sparkly, this summery color, and this beautiful little turquoise hat. This Gnutmeg just needed to be made. And he sits downstairs on the sideboard in our living room. So I love having a little bundle of a basket like that, where all the things I need to do the particular project can just be found, and the patterns downstairs as well. But I can just pick it up and do whatever I want. Some other things I finished recently that I'm pretty excited about. I test knit this cute little, it's called the Henley hat by my friend Jen Clark. This can be found on Ravelry. It has been published. And it is just a cute little, she does other patterns too. Like if you follow her on Instagram, and I'll link it below. She's a really cute cow one as well. They're just fun, quick knits. And I don't know how many of these she knit before she produced the pattern, but they're so much fun. So it's the Henley hat, and you can find that one on Ravelry as well. I test knit it for her, and there's little, don't judge it, but I didn't have chunky orange wool, so I just used 4 strands of fingering, or 3 strands of fingering, because that was the only orange I had. And that's kind of how I roll, just so you know. And then I've been watching Erna and Carlos, their podcasts, and sit and knit for a bit on Wednesdays here in Canada. That's when we see it. I see it Wednesday afternoon, I guess. And one of the things they talked about at some point over the fall and pandemic was their perfect sock wool they designed for Regia, and it was hard to find. I searched for it, and I think I finally got, I can't remember if it was Galt House of Yarn or Yarn Canada, one of those two, and I'll link them both below, is where I finally found it. I love this colorway. It's Garden. And I was just intrigued with these. I have done these sort of self-patterning, self-striping yarns before. I knit socks a lot. And one of the things I wanted to do was try a new heel. So this is a different heel. I'm not positive. This may be Fish Lips Kiss, which is well worth the money you spend on that pattern. It's a fun little sock heel to do. I really like it. So those were fun to do this fall. And then this is a guilty knit. I don't know how many of you do that. My parents live on the East Coast, so very far away from me. I can't visit them. They need nothing. And by the time I got this knit, I still have to send it to my mother, but her birthday came and went. I sent her a picture of it the end of February, and I said, I know you don't really need this now, but it's just a really simple garter shawl. Was really easy to do. It just was a way for me to connect with her at her birthday, and she'll love these colors. She does love these colors. She's seen it, but I haven't sent it to her yet. And this is, so just so you know, I knit in all kinds of yarns. This is Red Heart's Sheep Chic, and it's a wool blend. The pattern can be found on, I think it's called the Marley Bird website. It's just a simple triangle shawl, 2 colors. It was a fun knit, and I use knitting to connect with people. People who follow me on Instagram will once in a while notice that if something happens to someone in my family, if they're struggling or having a hard time, certainly I speak with them. Don't get me wrong, I speak with them. But I also knit for them, because to me, knitting is love. And for me to knit them something is a way for me to show them that, and for me to feel connected. And when I did that shawl, because I ordered some yarn, you know, you have to order enough so that you don't pay shipping. That's always the rule. The Marley Bird also has this beautiful pattern. This is the same wool on her website. And I think it's one of the free ones on her website. I don't know if you have to use, I don't think you can get it on Ravelry. I think it's only on her website. I'm not sure about that. But I wanted to try Latvian braid. You know, so I knit a hat. I didn't do a swatch with Latvian braid because that would, you know, I needed to do these 2 rows or 4 rows. So I knit the whole hat so I could do these 4 rows to learn how to do Latvian braid. I just love that. I love this color. I love this yarn. It is certainly it was fun. I haven't done color work in a long time, and I did this hat. And I've done a bit more color work since then because I did this hat. But you know what? I always say, although I love, and I have tons, I'm going to show you lots of indie dyed yarn and some beautiful, beautiful product in a few minutes, but you knit what you can afford. All things in life, buy the very best you can afford. Don't put yourself in debt because someone said you should use a certain thing. There's no yarn shame anywhere in my world. There's no room for it. But I love this. And this was very expensive. And I will tell you, no, nothing I'm showing you am I paid to promote. I ordered this from Walmart because that was that day where I could find the yarn that the pattern called for. And I wanted to use the yarn the pattern called for because I love these colors. I often will just stash dive when I want to do something, but I really love this hat. So I just did it. I went for it. Ordered it from Walmart. And it is so soft and beautiful and accessible for everyone. So always remember that. Don't let anyone tell you, you know, there's all kinds of cals and things that I participate in. I don't always buy the yarn. And you'll see one actually. That the cal calls for, and it's not that I don't think it's beautiful, and it's not that I don't think it's worth the money that's being asked for it. I absolutely do. I think indie dyers deserve the money they get, but I can't always afford it, and that's okay. So I told you I watch Arna and Carlos. So this is one of their patterns. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? This was the next down the rabbit hole color work that I did after I did the Marley Bird hat. So, you know, all of these are things I finished in February and March and so far in April. Because that's how long I've been thinking about doing a podcast. So I've just been throwing them in a basket to share with you guys. Because I just want to talk about my knitting. Isn't this gorgeous? This is Patton's Croy from my stash. And these are for my daughter, so they're a bit small. They would have to be bigger to fit me, but she has tiny feet. She's an adult, but she has tiny feet. So I think these were 64 stitches, maybe less, can't remember. But I love this detail on the toe, see that? And the heel is the same. And I think it's just gonna make it a little tougher. And this is, I don't know what the colors are, the black, white, and red from my stash. And a lot of this, when I show Patton's Croy that I have, I've picked it up here in Southern Ontario. We're very lucky because we have the Spin Right outlet, which is the various wools, Patton's, Bernat, there's a few others. Those are the ones just right off the top of my head. And we get their factory sale a couple times a year. Well, when we can go to it, we have it. We also have an outlet store for their yarns, so we get really great selection and good prices. And that would be where that came from, the Spin Right 10 sale. And if you want to know more about that, just look up Spin Right on SPINRITE on Facebook, and although it's not happening right now, you'll be able to find out about it. And this is my most recent FO. This is, the yarn is Fleece Artist, and it's one of the National Park commemorative colorways from a couple of years ago when the National Park Service was celebrating 150 years. This one is Fundy National Park, which happens to be the national park close to where I grew up. I love this colorway. And the hat is the Musselburgh hat by Ysolda Teague. These are addictive. Like if you want that mindless car, picking up the kids, waiting at practice, sitting in the doctor's office knit, this is it. It is a great toque. It fits really nicely. I will pop it on. It's snug. This fits my husband, my son, my daughter. We've all had it on our head. We all like the way it fits. We all like the snugness around our ears. And what's really cool is this is a fingering weight, sock weight yarn. And it's just a long tube with a square construction at the top. It was originally, from the pattern it says, designed so that some people call it the soldier hat. Soldiers could wear it around their neck or on their head. And you just fold it double on itself. And I learned about this pattern from Kay at the Crazy Sock Lady. She's been knitting them all winter. And she did a little knit along with them. And I thought, oh, I should try one of those. I have lots of great skeins of yarn in my stash that would work well for that. Beautiful colors. And then you just do that and it's right back to being a hat again. I mean, it's just gorgeous. And this yarn is so soft. So soft. I love the Fleece Artist selection and I love the colors as well as Handmaiden. The dyer is amazing. She does amazing stuff. And I love this. Look, isn't that gorgeous? Those greens and browns and teals that all go together. And I love that anyone could wear this. Like, you know, I could see my mom wearing it, but my husband and my son also really liked it. And I really like it because it's very soft. It's very cool. So those are my most recent finished objects. That Musselburgh hat is, so I'm going to show you one of my FOs because you'll get it. I have one on the needles, which I will admit I recently frogged because it's a bit of a recipe. And this wool is a little heavier than the other one. This is Hetrick Yarns. So it's dyed by the same dyers as Ancient Yarns. And I'll show you some more of their stuff in a bit. And this colorway is exclusive to River City Yarns in Edmonton. And they do all the various hockey teams. And I think football teams, but I don't follow football, so I don't know. This is Team Canada. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen several pairs of the Montreal colorway socks knit over Christmas and earlier in the year. But so this is it starts on DPNs and then goes out to this circular. And it's just knitting up beautifully. This is absolutely mindless knitting. Perfect for Zoom meetings. This is my Zoom knitting. I've been doing a fair amount of this or socks. And for the first time in I don't know how long, because these are filling the need, I don't have a pair of socks on the needles, and that almost never happens. I always am knitting socks. And so this is what it's called. I'll show you the label because oops, I just ripped the part. It's Hetrick socks. And exclusive to River City Yarns. And this is the Team Canada colorway. And it is dyed by Ancient Arts. And I'll show you some of their other bits of their yarns. The other thing that's in this bag, so as I said, it was, let me see if I can find the picture of the hat. So it's the Musselburgh by Ysolda Teague. I'm cheap. I don't print in color. Sorry. Maybe I will later, but I didn't this week. And then I also have this great little pouch in here, my Notions pouch, that just has, it has a darning needle, it has some stitch markers and other things. I get these from the Grocery Girls. I should know who makes them, but if you go to their website, you can buy these in all wonderful colors. Mine's orange. It was in my stocking at Christmas. Santa brought it to me. And my husband has a black one. He uses it for his mad money for golf. When he can play golf, they do a skins thing on holes, and he keeps his change in this in his pocket, so he has it. And I don't know who makes these, but I love them. These are my favorite DPNs. They're square. And they're how I start my Musselburgh. So those are in there. And there's no tag on this, but my keeper for my DPNs is also in there. And the bag is, I'm not a big, so I love bags, but I'm not too particular. This one happens to be a Vicky Howell for Delicue, just a perfect size for socks or whatever. It's a great little bag that I use for my Musselburgh cats, which is great. The next thing I'm working on is I'm doing the Comfort Fade Cardi Cow. So that is with La Bien-Aimée, so Amy from La Bien-Aimée, the Grocery Girls, and the pattern is by Amanda. Name just left me. That's how my life works. Amanda Mowry. So it is, I'm going to show you the picture again in black and white. So you need to go to it's Drea Renee Knits on on Facebook. No, Ravelry. I think that might be what she is on Instagram as well. And so that's the Comfort Fade Cardi. And there's still lots of time. I think there's still a month and a half left in the cow. And I will apologize up front. I'm doing my sleeves right now, 2 at a time. So it's really hard to hold up the project. And I'm doing them inside out, so I'm knitting, not purling, because this is a pattern. Let me see. I'll hold it upside down so you can see. The reverse stockinette side is the right side, but look at how those colors fade together. Look at that. And these are the yarns I'm using Cascade 220. Flip this one over so you can see the colors better. Look at those. And that's what I'm using for my fade. It is a great pattern and I'm loving it. I'm fading it this way. And I'm nearly finished, so that's kind of exciting. And it's literally, so everyone always laughs because at my knit group at Knit Night, everyone says, oh, Lucianne, you have the most interesting bags. So this is a shopping bag from Twinings in London. Because, you know, tea and knitting really go together. But this was the perfect size bag for my sweater. And this beautiful fade. Look at that. It is pretty cool. The other FO I have going on right now, I haven't knit on for a bit. And because it requires more concentration, and I could probably do it watching hockey or baseball, but I can't do it watching a movie. It is in Briggs & Little, which is the woolen mill local to me, and it is the Millstream tunic. And I am really, there's a lot of glare on that paper. I'm really loving knitting this. And the wool that I'm using, the colorway is turquoise. And So the colorway is turquoise, and it's Briggs and Little Heritage. Oh, it's blowing out a bit. Let's see there. Briggs and Little Heritage. This is the yarn I grew up knitting with and how I learned to knit. Like, I probably use this the most. And it's in a Briggs and Little bag. That because I spent enough money, I got this bag, which is, you know, how life works. But I really love this pattern. And it's nice, just a little bit of lace, a little bit of cables, not too much, but it does require a little bit more of me when I'm knitting it, because I have to pay attention to what row I'm on. And it's a bit of a rustic yarn, but it does soften up. I encourage anyone who's never knit with Briggs & Little to do so. They have several different weights, an amazing array of colors, and it is a really good price. And it is, I think, the oldest woolen mill in Canada. And I just have been knitting with them forever. When I was a little girl, my grandparents sent the wool there from their sheep and would get yarn back. They sent it there, or the other place was McCausland's in Prince Edward Island, and I like their yarn as well. And we have beautiful blankets and things because my grandmother would send the wool off and get back wool, yarn, or blankets, which was kind of cool. So the next thing I'm going to talk to you about, which I'm pretty passionate about, is supporting local makers. And that's always a thing that I think we need to make sure that we do. However you can, because we can all support local makers. Everyone can, whether it's just by commenting and liking their posts on Instagram and Facebook, by tagging them when you've made something with their product, or even just giving them a shout out and saying, I love this person's style, their things, their patterns, their whatever it is. Even if you can't buy them, giving them a shout out supports them. And that's always what you should do, what you can and how you can support them. I will admit, I've gone a bit crazy. This is just the stuff I've picked up recently. I think the one box is from Knit City Virtual Vancouver. Well, earlier in the year, I bought their maker's box because there were so many things I wanted and I wasn't sure what to do. And this ended up being the most cost-effective way. And it's got some great things in it. So it has the Magpie Darling Hat Kit from Amanda Kafka, who I really love. And look at those sparkles on that. Like, that is just, I haven't opened this up even. I saved this to show you all because, you know, I decided I was going to do a podcast, so I wanted to make sure you could all see it. This great darning mushroom from another maker who was, I will tag them all in the comments. There's a lovely sheep tallow balm, a beautiful stitch marker, some tea, because everybody who knits needs a warm drink, and I happen to prefer tea. This cute bag from Humble Knit. A gorgeous Julie Asselin skein of yarn, which I don't know what I'm going to do, but isn't that just beautiful? It's merino and cashmere and silk. It is Julie Asselin Fino. Also a fun maker, like if you ever get a chance to do a class with her. I did Knit City Virtual's Knit Night a couple of weeks ago with them. It was perfect. Card. Beautiful pom-pom. I think this one was from Yarn Bowler. So when you get a chance to buy a maker's box like this, it lets you try, I mean, they all came in all boxed up together. It lets you try a bunch of different makers things with, helps you save on the shipping because they all come together, and things that you might not have tried otherwise, which I think is always fun. I love surprises. If you don't love surprises, maybe some of these things aren't for you, but I love surprises. I'm the person who goes into a restaurant and says to the waitstaff, like, I'm not sure what I want. I'm divided between these three things. Just choose for me and bring it. I love doing that. I think it's fun. But I do have a bunch of other things I want to show you. So you heard me mention the Grocery Girls earlier. I love Jody and Tracy. It just feels like I've had friends over for tea when I watch them. And this is their Knitiversary sock set and their Knitiversary DK set. They're on their website. I'm pretty sure they still have them right now because I think I just got another shipment. I love these. And these were done by Rosehill Knits, who I also really love. Let me see if I can get this so it doesn't blow out. There you go. I love their products. Their yarn is beautiful. The dyer, she does amazing work. And I just really am enjoying that. So, you know, that's one of the little treats I got for me. These are all treats I got for me. Who am I kidding? Like, no one buys them for me. My friend from Pretty Little Yarns did her and Emma Smallbone, and let me see if I can find everybody's name on here. This will help me. Put together this great little kit. Thamo Hurley. So, Love Potions is Emma. And I've known Emma forever. She does all kinds of really cool stuff. This is a great little essential oil. And it was a care package. So it's an essential oil. So Emma Smallbone, Mistress of Woo. Doesn't that sound fun? So a little piece of rose quartz and an essential oil and candy. There's candy in here. This beautiful mini from my friend Marissa Very at Pretty Little Yarns. You can find her online. And the bag is by Ferme. And some lava stones. And it's a little kit to make a mindfulness bracelet that you can, oh, and Lavender and Stone as well was one of the people who contributed to this little kit. Thamo Hurley makes the bag. Isn't that gorgeous? Just beautiful. And this was a way I could support the four of them, and have something pretty for me as well. And I haven't made the bracelet yet because I haven't decided if I'm going to make the mindfulness bracelet using the yarn or if I'm going to pop the yarn into my mini collection and make the bracelet out of maybe hemp or something that I already have. But I just really like that. And that was a way I could support all of them at once and get something fun for me too. So that's always nice. I do get, if you're a person who loves surprises, subscriptions are kind of fun. So I have 3 that I do right now, which is probably too many, but I don't know which one I would cancel. So this is last month's skein. I'm doing the Yarnable box, which is from the US, which the shipping is a bit erratic because it's from the US, nothing to do with them, just the way the US postal system is. So this is last month's yarn. And so March. February's I still have in the box, and it comes, you get a little goodie bag, and in the goodie bag, always in this pretty little bag, this month, there's different things every month, is a little measuring tape and a card telling you about the products and a scratch off for a savings code. And this month there was also from Bigwood Soap, which is in, I believe, in New York. Dish soap and this beautiful lavender lemongrass soap. So those are kind of fun things, little things that you maybe wouldn't purchase yourself. And there's a skein. I've done this sock wool, and there's this beautiful skein of yarn. And these are from Hypnotic Yarn. All these yarns, that's who does this one. It's a plush sock. So Merino and nylon, 85.15, 437 yards per 100 grams. Look at those colors. This colorway, I think, is Stormwatch. Look at the purples and the teals and the black. I can hardly wait to ball both of these colorways up to make a pair of socks. I need to get a pair of socks on the needles. I need to do that soon, so I'm looking forward to doing that. They'll be fun. The other one I do is the Ancient Yarns. They're the same folks who do, she's the dyer for the Hat Trick yarns from River City, but she also does these. And I don't know which is which. One of these is this month, or last is March, and one is February. And I'm bad at knowing which one is which, because that's just who I am, and that's okay. And I can't even see what the color was. Oh, this one is Street Art. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at all that color. And this is Hope. And this is on their Superwash Fine Merino base, which is 20% nylon, 350 meters per 100 grams. I'm really looking forward to making something with these as well. I just love the colors. I love getting surprises in the mail, and I love when they're soft, squishy yarn surprises. So I'm really excited about both of those. I really like the Ancient Arts colorways. I'm really enjoying them. And the other one, because, you know, we do crazy things, I'm doing the Leo and Roxy. So Leo and Roxy is Jolynn and Carrie, and they own my local yarn shop, and the Little Red Mitten in St. Thomas, Ontario, and you can find them online. But they're also the dyers for Leo and Roxy Yarn Co. And so they're so this is a Doctor Who inspired colorway. It comes with a pin and a sticker. Hold sticker right side up. And these are the hints for the other. It's a quarterly, and there will be 4 in total. So I've gotten this one, and these are the hints for the inspiration for the other 3, which will come. So this is Who Are You? And it comes with 2 minis. And look at that. Doesn't that look yummy? Let's see if we can make it so it doesn't blow out. The light has changed a little bit. It's better back here. Look at that. It's really great against my lime green wall. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? All those yummy colors. So I love the dyeing that Jolynn and Carrie do. They make beautiful things. They do have a podcast as well. They podcast as the Little Red Mitten, but they talk about all the things they do. And so those are the 3 subscriptions I get. They're fun. It's like surprise mail. And I forget I ordered them, which is great because, you know, I paid for them a while ago. So it's just a fun way to get mail. I also really like to support local to me makers, some of them not so local to me, who are doing special things. So I have just a few going on that I just want to quickly show you that will give you an idea. This one is from Timber Yarns, and I love, they do these really great matching sock sets. Look at that. They're pretty local to me. This is Over the Rainbow is the colorway. Comes with a little stitch marker. Some hot chocolate. And this was kind of like a treat yourself. And this is a Dophina sock bag. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? The little socks on it. Little cute bag. Look at those orange stripes inside. And it's Dophina is the maker. And yeah, this was a little bundle they put together. And I like Timber Yarns. I've bought them when I went to festivals. I would always buy at least one of their matching sets because I do really like them. And again, It's a way to support local makers or independent makers and dyers. Look at the beautiful embroidery she does along the zipper. Isn't that gorgeous? And that's a great little bag for a sock set. Perfect, perfect. I love those kinds of things. The Frosted Stitch is another relatively local to me maker that I really, really like. There's some of my yarn I'm not seeing. Oh, there, that's the other one I want to highlight. So the Frosted Stitch is, I have a few different ones here. There's a worsted, a DK. Look at this. Look at those crazy colors. So this one is the 90s called Icy Sock. So 85 superwash merino and 15% nylon. Look at that. How yummy. Won't that make just an amazing pair of little summer socks? Well, I might do shorties with it because this just screams summer. And this is Bonfire. I just think fall and cozy and warm. And this is the worsted. It's superwash merino, 115 grams, 192 meters. Beautiful. And this one is Frosted Flake in Icy DK, and it is 85 superwash merino and 15 nylon, so I could make socks out of this. Look at those colors. All those beautiful. And because I couldn't make up my mind, I also thought I wanted to do maybe a shawl, so I also picked up the DK Minis. I'm sorry for the crinkle. And I bought 2 sets because I wasn't sure one would be enough. Because, you know, that's how I roll. And that's okay. Another thing I really love is Leo and Roxy now has these new basics. And so these are not hand-dyed, but they are the same care and attention to the colors. And this is the Gryffindor sock set. And really amazing bases, but this is a little bit more accessible than the indie dyed items because they're commercially produced. They are a little bit less expensive. I shouldn't say less expensive. Expensive is a bad word. They cost a little bit less to produce because time is money, and they aren't expensive. They just take more time, and the creative content that you're paying for and the hands-on part of it is a bit more time consuming, so therefore the cost is higher. But I really love this rag, and I've been trying to figure out what I'm going to knit with it. Stay tuned, you'll find out here. Really love those. And then another dyer that I really love, and so this is Jody from the Grocery Girls and her offspring Mackenzie. They do these, and I love supporting young makers, and I think Mackenzie's colors and color inspiration are just amazing. They obviously have this really youthful vibe going on. I mean, they have all kinds of things, and I mean, Jody's involved in the color dyeing. I think Jody does the actual physical dyeing, and Mackenzie does the business side, but is involved in some of the color creations and things. But look at this. This one, I don't know what they're called because it isn't on the labels. This is the 80% superwash merino and 20 nylon. And this one is the same. This is their label. They've just recently moved off of Etsy to a website, and it's To The Max Yarn Co. Look at this sock set. I love it. Just love it. Look at that. Grays and yellows. I just love, love, love their color inspiration and the way it feels, and their story. And I love supporting young makers who are just starting out. Mackenzie's in her early 20s, and this is her little business venture, and they're doing this with their mom, and I think that's cool, and I want to support that. And I may have just put another order in this week. I also may have just placed another order with the Little Red Mitten, because, you know, it was Little Yarn Shop Day this weekend, and, you know, you should support your little yarn shop. I also do a lot of things that are quite literally just treats for me, and that's what this is. I ordered, this is a Big Blue Mama basket, and this was an Easter basket bundle that Muskoka Fibres did, and it came with a pattern for these hearth socks, these two beautiful skeins of yarn, a mohair and a 75 superwash, 25 nylon rusty wool. Look at that. Look at those beautiful colors. And this is the mohair to go with it. Look at all those beautiful colors. And it had a cute little bunny stitch marker. It was an Easter basket for me. I deserve an Easter basket. I bought everybody else Easter things, so it's okay if I buy them for me too. Chocolate, because what's an Easter basket without chocolate? But I love this Big Blue Mama. They have all kinds of bags, or baskets. You can find them on the internet. It's a great story. I follow them on Instagram. It's baskets from Bulgaria are from some of the finest baskets produced in all of Africa. Use it while shopping and enjoy it in your home, but know your purchase has helped the people of Bulga as they work to sustain a handcraft tradition that has been part of the region for hundreds of years. So she's creating a market for these great baskets. And I would love to have a really big one, but it's not in my budget right now. But I love, this is the perfect size, this little one. And I don't know what I'm going to put in it yet. Maybe my next shawl. We'll see, because I love to knit. Well, if you stayed this long, thank you for letting me talk about my knitting and things I've purchased and the beautiful things I've made and that I've found from makers and the patterns that others have done and that I just find so inspiring and so helpful to me on an everyday basis to keep me going and doing the other things I have to do during this crazy time. And, you know, I'm looking forward to talking with you again. And I don't know when that will be, but if you click the notifications and like this podcast, that will help. If you click the notifications, you'll know the next time I post a video. And if you have questions or comments, please put them below. Thank you so much for letting me talk about my love of yarn and my knitting and the fun things I do. I hope to hear from you as well. Have a great week, everyone, and enjoy the time you spend knitting, and know that knitting or crocheting or whatever your craft is, that if you enjoy it, that's all that matters. And even if I've done it, make things and put them in a box and save them till you find somebody who needs them. If knitting is what makes your day better, do it. Do it, do it, do it. It's fun. So Gnutmeg and I say goodbye till next time, and thanks for watching. Bye.